us in our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Council.
Heavenly Father, we pray that everything that is done here tonight is of a clear heart. These and all things we ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. All right, members of council, y'all should have in your agenda packet. Actually, you probably don't. Do y'all have the minutes in there? I did get those via email, and I did not observe anything that was out of the ordinary. I'm assuming maybe at least one of y'all did. Tell you what, we'll come back to that. If you don't mind going to print those off and get them to us, we'll come back to that. That's exactly right. Public comment. We have 2 people for public comment. I apologize. I told you 2 minutes. It's 3 minutes for our rules. You got 3 people. All right. The first one, Rain. John Rowland. Will you tap that mic and just make sure we can hear it so that way the general public can hear it as well? Yep, you're live. All right. If you don't mind, state your name and your address, and then.
Which is why I'm here. I'm here to petition to reopen the case so that we can go ahead and get this railroad closed for good. Didn't want to be isolated, to be able to walk to town and just feel free. Everybody, of course, is against the noise, which is deafening, and that thing goes back there 15 seconds, 4 times a day, and it's just too much.
I hate to interrupt you. Do you mind explaining for members of our council why the noise is an issue? In other words, there's a crossing there, so they're legally required to blow,
yes.
blow the train.
By law, the railroad company has to go over that, which is a total of 15 seconds, at 96 decibels for each time he blows that horn. And that horn is meant to be heard within a 1-mile radius. So not just Green Street, but everybody from Hamilton to here. You can hear that noise, and it makes absolutely no sense because there's only 7 of us that live back there that actually go over that crossing. And only one of them actually goes to work. And he leaves at 4 in the morning and gets back 4 in the afternoon. And guess what? The train has ran its 4 courses for the day. So he doesn't even hear the noise. The reason for the closure would just be the fact that we would have 2 dead ends, which would make it safer for the children. Because if you ever go down Green Street, it's very narrow. And if there's an emergency, the fire trucks are not going to want to use that route. They'll take the other one on Mill Street. It's much wider and safer. And with the paving going on, it just makes it easier for everyone. So you just created 2 safer neighborhoods by closing that, eliminating the noise, and if you leave that crossing and don't put the berms in there, it allows us to still walk over the railroad tracks legally, and there won't be any horns, there won't be any signs, but we can still walk to town and walk back safely. And so I took it upon myself to find out what does people on Green Street, because nobody showed up to your meeting to say let's close this, only the ones that opposed it. And after walking around and checking every single house on Green Street, I've cut 33 signatures of people who did not show up your meeting who would like that to be permanently closed due to noise and safety reason for children. And the 3 people that did come here and said, you know what, we'd like it closed for convenience. Open, I'm sorry, my fault. They would like it now closed after speaking, and as long as they still can get across the tracks, they're fine with it.
On pedestrian, get across.
Pedestrian, not crossing with bicycles, cars, or anything like that, just to be able to walk to town and come back. So, besides that, I just don't see any other reason, and the railroad is in full support of just leaving it as it is, cleaning it up, put their little signs so that we can't drive past there, and the city has no expense for that. They'll take care of it, and all you have to do is just take it to the circuit court, get it approved, and the rest of us can just live a better life. It's quality of life. I'm a disabled Gulf War vet, and I can hear that with the windows closed, doors closed, medicated, it doesn't matter. That is such a loud noise that nobody benefits from because 97% of the time, nobody's going over the tracks waiting for it. It's different on Gossett, it's different on Mill Street. But Green Street, it's basically just there, and it just needs to be closed. So this petition just shows you that I'm not alone, and with this, hopefully we can go ahead and close this.
If you don't mind, will you present that petition to the clerk? She can have that, and maybe the attorney get a copy as well.
Better quality of life, but and just so you know, these 3 dots right there, they came here last month and said we'd like it closed, and now they would also like it. I mean, like it open. Now they would like it closed.
How many signatures do you have, Mr.
33.
33.
And that doesn't mean that there's 33 houses on Green Street. It just means 33 18 and over adults are sick and tired of hearing the noise And if there's any way we can close it, they're all in favor of it.
You live on the William Street side, or do you live?
No, I live on Green Street at the very end, so I see everything that goes on that train track. It's in my full view from the living room. I'm in one of the three
Okay.
new ones in the back
Okay.
cul-de-sac.
So you're on one of the sides that would be closed off from.
Absolutely.
From
Yep.
Main Street, and you're in
And
favor
so are
of
the
it?
three people that came here that were
Understand.
opposed. And now there's only one couple and they just want to be able to access to go across. So if you take the time and you say to the railroad company, let's berm this, grass it, you're gonna end up with grass 4 feet tall, nobody's gonna mow it.
Right.
If you leave it paved the way it is, we just step over the tracks and we go and do our business. So everybody
Yeah, I talked
wins.
with Steve Hawkins, and he mentioned about putting those, they basically, they're not T-posts, but they're signposts with the reflective
Yes.
stickers on them.
Yep.
That basically know that vehicles can't go across that anymore.
Yes, and he's gonna put berm there unless you say it's okay to just leave it as is. And after speaking even to Mr. Dunlap, the one who opposed it the most, as long as they can access it, they're happy about that.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns too, is the berms. You know, we've seen pictures of Lewis Circle, what that looked like after the fact. When
It's
you
a
have
mess.
berms. There's no good way to mow it other than a weed whacker. It's not our property, so we're not gonna be the people out there mowing it.
And the railroad isn't gonna do it either.
Yeah, well,
So,
we know that.
and right now it's paved, you don't get muddy feet, there's gravel. Say, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Who we have next? James Hawkins? How you doing, sir?
Fine, fine.
Good.
I'm
Good to see you
James
tonight.
Hawkins at 169 Effie Drive in Piedmont,
Okay.
and I was ready to come here to see if the city council let me. We want to rent the amphitheater to have an all-day-long Christian music festival, sell barbecue plates, to raise money for the churches and everything. Our church is Soldiers of Outreach Without Walls. We've done it before, but we didn't get the theater. I got about 5 bands that's wanting to come, and they don't want to sit up on the ground and
Sure.
stuff with their equipment and everything. And I was just seeing if there's any way possible we can do that. Now, when I say sell barbecue plates, I used to run a rehab in Anderson at Laborers of the Field for about 12, 13 years. Never made no money out selling nothing. And that's the God's honest truth. Because if somebody comes up hungry, that's what we're mainly there for. We want to feed them. You know, we like to make something for the food and everything, but if somebody's homeless and wants some food, we're going to feed them. We don't hold no grudges.
Do you
on
have a
that.
date in mind already?
Yeah, I was hoping it's August the 9th. Since y'all ain't doing the Spring Water Festival no more. That's
Well,
what-
we are doing it, but not in August.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm talking about, y'all moved it earlier. I said, well, let me jump on August right quick.
All right, so since this is not on the agenda for tonight, council can't vote on it. However, council's allowed me the ability to be able to approve something like that. There's no opposition to it, provided it does not interfere with any of our scheduling stuff and you meet all the requirements that are necessary for any other town event. I think that would be okay. If any member of council got any questions or in opposition to allow me to affect that, should it not interfere with our schedule?
So long as there's already, the park's not being,
Correct.
amphitheater's not being used.
All right. Do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Call up here tomorrow, ask to speak to Michelle, that's the young lady right here.
Michelle? Okay.
If you'll call up town hall after 9 o'clock, ask to speak to Michelle, she can confirm with the schedule that whether or not there's something there, and if we need to tweak it a little bit, and also any other information that may be required, she'll be able to get that to you.
Okay, and like I said, you know, I tried last month, but everybody kept,
There was a lot of stuff
Yes,
going on
sir.
last month.
I don't know, see now, Tim?
Yeah, Tim Gentry,
Yeah, he called me and told me July. I went, what? Do you know how long it takes to book somebody? You know?
well, it's very,
But I
very
mean, like I
difficult.
said,
And
it's-
July's not a good month for us, because we got about 55 million things going on in the park, as well as our 4th of
Oh,
July
yes, I
celebration.
know. I've been here for quite a few years now.
Yep.
But like I said, you know, it's just, I feel like we need to do something for the homeless around here. I mean, I ain't gonna say free food, because you'll have every time,
Yeah.
everybody coming everywhere. But if they come up, they hungry, you can just walk around, you'll find out. I feed everybody. I don't hold nothing back. They hungry, they gonna eat.
Perfect. So none of the shelters will be available, but the amphitheater would be available.
Yeah, that's all I was wanting, the amphitheater.
Yep.
And I'm gonna start telling everybody to bring their cheers and stuff.
That sounds good.
And,
Just
we'll
coordinate with
definitely
Michelle
clean-
tomorrow. Make sure you call up here tomorrow and get added to the agenda. So you get all your information, contact information, all that good stuff.
Okay, I sure will, and we will clean up afterwards.
Perfect, yeah, that's important too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all, y'all have a
We
blessed
appreciate
day.
you. You too. Next up, public comment. Dominique Brown. Hey, Miss Dominique Brown.
Hi, how are y'all doing today?
Good, it's good to see you. Flip that microphone down.
Yeah,
toward
because
you.
I'm short. So, my name is Dominique Brown. My address is 810 Border Road. I, of course, work for Metro by T-Mobile. I've been there
Yep.
for literally a year. And there are things that we have been told that we're not allowed to do, like put up our flaggers that are not in the way or set up our tent or anything, but there's other businesses around here that are actually allowed to do it. So what are literally the do's or don'ts that Metro's not allowed to do that the other customers, other people are doing? Because we literally get customers 24/7 that says they don't know that we're there.
Understand.
And I'm pushing to do events, but we're not getting events. If it wasn't for Ms. Roberta, we wouldn't even know about half of the events that be going on from free to what we have to pay. I literally get that information at the last minute. And with me being the primary person of Metro, I'm only one person.
Yep.
I have to take it to my bosses once it comes to me, and we have to know what the fines is and stuff like that, but we don't get anything.
Sure.
So we want to be part of the community, but it's like the community don't want us. And I love every bit of my customers, and they love me. So I want to at least
Well, I
be
can't
out there.
speak for specific cases, but you can find our ordinances on, if you go to Municode, if you just type Google Williamston, South Carolina ordinances, that'll bring you to Municode, and all of our ordinances, including our sign ordinance, is there.
Okay.
You'll be able to look at that ordinance and search by sign. You just type in sign. There's several different ways you can do it. You can do a temporary sign. You can apply for a temporary sign permit. Michelle, what's the fee for that? It's negligible. So that, I can't speak for specific things. Someone may have pulled a permit. Typically, our folks are reactive. In other words, someone initiated a complaint. Hey, they got to sign up. You feel free to do the same thing. If you see somebody with one up that you don't think's right, you can initiate that complaint as well.
I love my neighbors. I
I
love my
understand.
neighbors, and I'm not one, if they
And I'm not-
trying to bring business in, but it has to be a given 50-50. If
Sure.
you're doing it, we should be allowed to do it too.
Sure.
I'm going the right steps to do it though.
Yep.
I'm literally getting us to sign up for the business association again and everything like that. So I'm taking the steps to make sure that we're there. I need to be met halfway.
I understand. Well, there's no halfway in the ordinances. The ordinances are pretty black and white. There's no leeway. However, if there's something specifically that you've got a concern about, just call up here to town hall, talk to one of the ladies up here, and they can tell you, what's allowed, what's not allowed. And if
Our
you may have
parking
a,
spaces,
ma'am,
our parking spaces.
I don't
So-
know anything about your parking space.
So there's no lines there. So I'm sharing parking spaces with Fiesta because nobody, after 5 o'clock, nobody can really see us due to the fact that our lines merge kind of with Fiesta. Now I know from literally where our building starts and end, those are supposed to be our parking spaces. So I know the lines need to be repainted, and we're willing to do it ourselves, but will it be okay if we kind of get a stencil and be like, these are Metro parking spaces?
It's private property. You can stencil ever how you want to. The only
Okay.
thing that you may run into is if a handicap space is required and there was a handicap space there,
Trust me, I can make a handicap space.
then you may have to put it back there. But as far as it's private property, I mean,
Okay.
you can stencil whatever you want to it. I think Jack Turner had in front of his barber shop for years, had a Turner's Barber Shop parking only. And if you got out and went to the other stores, he'd go out and say, hey, you need to move your car.
Okay.
If you look it up on Anderson County Act Pass, it shows the property lines
Okay.
there, so you'll be able to tell pretty easily what property's owned by T-Mobile or owned by whatever company you are affiliated with. It's
Okay.
affiliated with T-Mobile.
Sounds good to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming this afternoon.
Thank you.
Does any member of council have any questions?
Could I say just one
Yeah,
thing?
absolutely.
When I was talking with her today, and specifically what she was talking about, is she had a feather flag
Yeah.
up on this side of the sidewalk, and it just said T-Mobile, and it directed, and she sits outside, bless her heart, all the time in front of T-Mobile, trying to get people in and everything.
Yeah, you can check and see on, they can give you information on who's pulled permits, who hadn't, and if there's somebody who's got a feather flag, you can't put one out there permanently, I do know that.
Okay.
That,
So if we are in the ordinance of it and we pick a time, say when we open up at 10, from 10 to 5, it's
You-
straight there.
everything's in the ordinance, ma'am, I don't have it in front of me, I apologize. Get with town hall, the staff, and they can tell you what's required, but I know it can't be a permanent feather flag.
Oh, we don't need it to be permanent, we just need it to be done what we do. That's it.
And I think it's like 30 days, it's allowed to go out for 30 days or something like that for special events, like a sale or something like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you may look at the signage on the store itself and see if that's something that could be reworked differently, where it might be more visible. I don't know.
Okay.
And it gets really confusing too, because SC 20 is that main highway, that belongs to the state. We don't even control that, but we do control the sign ordinance there, so they may prohibit you from having that feather flag too, yeah.
Okay, I will definitely check into that.
All right, thank you so much for coming. And if I can help you, I will, I promise you.
All right, thank you.
All right. Any more public comment? Minutes. Let's go back to the minutes. Members of council, y'all now have in your packet, the meeting minutes, draft minutes from June the 2nd. When y'all have had time to review it, I'll entertain a motion to adopt. I know they were just handed to you, so take your time. Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rogers to adopt as written.
Second.
Have a second by Councilman Cole. Discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? And the minutes stand approved unanimously. Y'all pass that down to Michelle, please. All right, committee reports. Roberta Hamby with Envision Williamston. I just want to make sure we didn't skip anybody. I'm notorious for doing that.
Mayor and council, thank you for allowing me to speak. Another amazing freedom celebration is in the books. We knocked it out of the park.
Here, here.
We had 79 people participate in bobbers on Big Creek. We floated 1,320 bobbers down the creek.
Barely.
Barely, with the help of the fire department, running water all day. Everybody who participated, walked away with the prize. Special thanks to Mayor Pro Tem Chris Alexander for all the help that day. We couldn't have done it without him. Then that evening, we had 200 people register for the gas grill out back, one all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. We had North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and of course South Carolina that came to the event. We've got all those stats. Very special thanks to Rame and Lee Cole for last minute pulling the sublease out that allowed the event to go off. So thank y'all very much. And I got the notice and y'all got it immediately, so it wasn't Roberta sitting on it. It was the police chief telling me we need it now, but we worked it out. Next up, police department book bag is back to school event is this Saturday. The event is gonna be from 1 to 3. This year we're doing it differently. We're setting up the auditorium. We've got tables around it, and it's going to be a shopping experience for the kids. Anderson District 1 is involved with us. Dr. Shealy will come and be signing the kids in at the event. It'll be a pre-registered event. We'll have food for them. Different businesses throughout Williamston are setting up tables. So like H&R Block is bringing a pencil table. So they'll give out all the pencils, and different businesses have their tables set up. We've got bouncy houses, we've got a train for them. Carolina Community Center is bringing hot dogs for them. Envision Williamston's doing popcorn. It's gonna be a fun day for them. And Carolina Community Center had a truckload of donated clothes that Walmart donated to them. So this year we're also adding clothes to the event. Should be a great event. We limited it to Cedar Grove, West Pelzer, and the Palmettos schools this year. We hope to serve 200 kids in the area, and if any's left over, then we'll reach out further, but we hope to hit all the kids in this area first. Last year we missed that because we had other kids come in. If y'all are available, please stop by from 1 to 3 in the auditorium. I think it's gonna be a fun event for everybody. Kids Scavenger Hunt will begin August the 26th in the park, and it'll end August the 2nd. Shark Week Drawing Contest, we're working out the details again. We did it last year, it was a great success. Hopefully it'll start June the 20th and end the 26th, just like Shark Week. Bingo, we got a new bingo coming up July 26th. Everyone loves this event. This year, the grand prize for the adults is a 4-piece patio seating set, and the grand prize for kids is a 19-foot splash pad. So that should be good.
You have time on that?
The
July
bingo
26th.
is 3 to, I think it's 3 to 6. Hold on, let me tell you for sure. 1 to 3.
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Hey, I got a quick question on the bingo too.
Yes, sir.
Last year y'all had what, 200? Roughly
We had
thereabouts?
300. It was
I know it was
in the spring of this year. This was our second one.
Are you guys cutting it off at any point in time? Because the auditorium won't hold, but
We're gonna
So
get with
many.
Huff and see how many we can have in there, because we had standing room only. We had people standing around the auditorium the last time. And Chris Alexander and I popped popcorn until we turned into popcorn, but we're gonna do it the day before this time. We're not gonna do it the day, the morning of the event. We're gonna do all day
Yeah, good
Friday.
move.
But yeah, we're probably gonna have to do some kind of registration, because we've already, at that last event, we had people already asking us when's the next one. And so this will be the second one of the year, but that seems to be a very popular event. We hadn't even started, collecting prizes for that yet, but we'll start hitting businesses up and stuff like that for that. So that's a,
Right.
Then August the 2nd, this is Roberta's biggie. This is Roberta's biggie ask. August the 2nd, 6 to 9 in the Summer Bash. That's our last concert of the year. We've got Rhythm Jab coming from Simpsonville. And we would like, you know, last year if y'all came, y'all know it was a water fun event. So we had water guns, we had the splash pad, we had the mist in tent, we had the fire hydrant that did water. This year we would like to ask Mayor and Council if we could have a water slide. With that, before you say no, we've already checked with the company. They are insured, and we would get with rain early, not 5 minutes before the event,
like an inflatable?
like an inflatable that they can go down. Our thoughts on that is we would ask Rain if he would give us a release of liability, just type us up a general release, make the parents sign it. We have purchased, I call them hospital wristbands. And once the parents signed the release of liability, but the company still has insurance as well, we would put this on them when they come to the slide. If they don't have this on, they don't slide. I mean, it's that simple. So if a parent doesn't sign them in and relieve us of liability. We do have a company that said that they would probably donate, and in fact, Eric Cohen today at All About Fabrics told me he thought he had a 14-foot or 16-foot tucked away somewhere, and he's gonna look for it, and if he did, he's gonna donate it to us. So we would have one for all the time for any event we had. But nonetheless, it's gonna be $350 to rent a water slide.
If we bring an outside entity in, they would just need to name the town as additionally insured off of their insurance policy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
Should
sir.
be pretty easy.
Okay. How are y'all with, is everybody good with me? It would just be one more feature for the water fund.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Can I come? I got my Speedo ready.
Absolutely. So it's good? Ken
Well,
back
at
there
least it's not a
gagging.
poem.
Is Ken back there gagging? So yes, I can move forward?
Move forward.
Move forward, thank you. And you'll be glad to know that is everything I have. Any questions for me?
Thank you very much. We appreciate all you do. Yeah, thank you. All right, old business. Councilman Rogers?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to bring up South Main Street crossing again.
Okay. Raymond, were we gonna do that in the form of a resolution or ordinance last time? It was resolution, right? We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rogers to amend the agenda to reopen discussion on authorizing Rain to proceed with the judicial closure of the railroad crossing there on Green Street. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second by Councilman Haygood. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll call the question of amending the agenda. All in favor of amending the agenda? And it's unanimous. All right. So, we've heard some testimony this afternoon from a resident on Green Street. I've had a lengthy conversation with him. I think maybe Councilman Cole maybe also had a pretty lengthy conversation. I suggested, you know, we put it out in public notice. We didn't have to. There's no requirement for us to do that. However, I think in making sure that our public's informed of what we're doing, we mailed everybody on Green Street letters, informing them that it was gonna be brought up for discussion, last month. And we had 3 folks showed up in opposition, as you heard the testimony earlier. We had, those 3 folks are now in favor of closing. The biggest issue that they're running across with the residents are they're tired of hearing that train horn blow right there at that crossing. The railroad has agreed, and I've talked with, the railroad owner, Mr. Hawkins, who is, you know, said they'll do whatever they want us to do as far as what aesthetically what that looks like. I think the residents want to continue to use that as a peg crossing, but no vehicular traffic would go across it. Instead of doing the berm, they would do the post with the signs on it that says, you know, closed road or dead end, something like that. So at this time, any further discussion on it?
Mayor, I would ask, so this would be with the town, just as the resolution said before, the town will be responsible for filing for the intersection to be closed.
That is correct. The town would initiate the action and talk with Mr. Hawkins, and I understand, somewhat of his predicament. He used the analogy of the fiber company coming to put something in your yard. And your yard being us, we own the roadway, and they're just a utility or another entity, that's going through that roadway that we own. It's much easier for the courts. It's according to him, he's been through this several times, some of which has been in litigation for quite some time with Lewis Circle and Belton. And he said, I don't wanna fight and I don't wanna go through litigation. But the courts look at it a lot easier if it's us, being the property owner, initiating that action, as opposed to him initiating, being just a crossing going through our roadway. So I certainly understand his predicament. He has been a good partner with the town thus far, and, you know, a lot of little things. Number one is, you know, keeping Gossett Street open. You know, he could take it upon himself to close Gossett Street. You know, I made it very clear to him that should he choose to do that at some point in time, there'd likely end up being a litigation over that, because it's clear to me that the vast majority of our residents do not want Gossett Street closed and remain closed. So he's put considerable sum of money into the repairs of Gossett Street, and repairs that if somebody hits it, it's not nearly as bad, you know, as it would have been 6 months ago if they hit it again. You know, we did a property swap for us putting up the curtains, so we now own the property behind Fast Fuel. That was one of the concessions. This, you know, according to him, I haven't done an appraisal on that property. I think it's probably useless property, to be honest with you, the way it's set up. But the appraisal likely would come in more than, you know, the value of the curtains we had out of pocket to put those up. He's donated some railroad cross ties, so he's made some concessions for us that are helpful to us, and we want to help him if we can. But at the same time, I explained to him, you know, if we have people that show up in opposition, that's the only people that show up, we're responsible to the people that elected us and put us in these positions to look out for their best interest. And we had nobody show up in favor of until tonight.
And Mayor, do you believe that well, let me say it this way, it's my understanding that the value that the railroad has given to the town in those things that you just mentioned, and in other matters, would be equal to or exceed the cost of the town and attorney's fees and other things in order for the town to do this. So it's because of that, it wouldn't be like we're spending money on them, they've helped us out on some things and we're helping them out on this. Is that accurate to say?
That would be my position on it at this point in time. However, let me disclose that I would ask that Rain do it as our town attorney. This obviously does not fall under his scope of work, under his contractual agreement with the town. This will be an additional to, and I have no earthly idea, you know, he's about $1,200-1,500 an hour. And I'm assuming it's gonna take at least 4 or 5 hours. Rain, if you could speak as far as, if you just spitball a number, what you've done a judicial closure, I'm guessing, without any opposition, it doesn't appear we know the railroad's not gonna oppose it, and we're fairly certain that if there's any opposition, it will be very minuscule compared to what we've got, you know, the action we've taken so far. The filings, any idea of roughly what it would cost, just I hate to put you on the spot like this, but would it exceed $10,000? Okay, if it doesn't exceed $10,000, we're in the good, okay? Please don't charge us $10,000.
$99.99.
He's a very good attorney, we'll make sure he gets paid.
Yeah, we won't pay him fair. We'll just require him to come in and clock in on the U-attend system we have here, and clock back out. Michelle, you verify he's doing what he's supposed to be doing on the clock. No, in all seriousness, we're thankful for Raymond, all he does for the town. He goes outside of the box many times, in helping us out, and we're greatly appreciative of it. But to answer your question, yes, as long as that's under $10,000, probably even 20 would be okay, but definitely $10,000 would be a number that, would be all right with. There was something else I wanted to mention too. Oh, so this is a resolution tonight that would authorize Rain to start that proceeding. It's still up to a circuit court judge to decide, and there will be public hearings. Everybody would be noticed. Again, that lives in the general areas, probably even outside of Green Street. Am I correct on that? I won't speak out of turn.
Everybody will be noticed, everybody will be sent a copy of the pleadings, complaint in
Yep.
order to close it. And then it will be posted. There's a statute that falls in line, we have to follow certain steps and time sequence we have to do it by. And everybody will be noticed.
So if there's any opposition that happens to come up, this isn't the end-all be-all tonight. They could still plead in front of a judge and say, you know, we don't want this, and plead their case. The things that were mentioned last month was the fire hydrant. Well, we're not gonna pull a 5-inch hose across an active train line anyway. And that's kind of a moot issue. I forget, what was the other issues that were? Yeah, so that's not an issue either, because you can still move across it if they do the ped crossing, as he said he would. The walking in and out of town, I agree, that it's a nice little route, if you live on the other side of the track, to be able to walk into town. And I know that couple that were here, I can't remember their names, but were here testifying last month in opposition. They work out regularly, and they're regularly across that area. Again, if the railroad decides to put in a ped crossing, as they have agreed to do, that's a moot issue too. So the complaints that we had are really just, they're moot, or could be resolved by the railroad allowing them to do a ped crossing. So with that said, it's not the end-all be-all, but this does authorize the town attorney to start those pleadings.
You'll need to put that in resolution, a motion.
Okay,
We just did a motion, just put it back in.
sure. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to bring it back off the table and bring that resolution back up for a vote tonight, that authorizes Rain to, you can use that same resolution, right, just change the date, that authorizes Rain to start those pleadings with circuit court.
I make a motion.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rogers to bring it off the table and bring it back up tonight.
I'll second.
Have a second by Councilman Haygood. Discussion. I believe we just jumped the gun because I done discussed it. Discussed it till I'm disgusted. Hearing no discussion, we'll call the question. All in favor? And we have none opposed. Rain, get to work, Big Daddy. All right, we have no old business. New business, we have first reading on the ordinance regarding the regulation and operation of golf carts on public roads. As most of you know, if you follow the news, previously this year, South Carolina changed its statutes regarding golf carts that allows municipalities to adopt an ordinance that allows golf carts to travel at night, as long as they have proper lighting. Few things that were added to that is also, seat belts on the golf carts for anybody, any, minor under the age of 12 must have a seat belt on. The ordinance that y'all have to you, presented to you tonight, follow state statute to a T. Basically what we're doing is allow, golf carts to be able to operate at night too, as long as they have proper headlights, seat belts, and otherwise follow state statute. Several municipalities in the state have already, enacted Take-A-K being one of them, and I think this ordinance mirrors, Take-A-K. This will be helpful, particularly with our events. You know, you had 4th of July event, you know, everybody, probably including, no, I didn't drive the golf cart, but pretty much everybody left out of here that evening was technically breaking state law. I like for our officers to be reasonable and prudent, but at the same time, you know, if they have discretion, and if they see somebody operating without seat belts and a minor on it, or they see, somebody operating at night and we have not passed this ordinance, technically, they're in violation of state statute. So this would remedy that and allow it to be operated again. They still have to have the lights, all the things that a motor vehicle would have to have if they're operating at night. It just takes off the regulations currently where it's dusted on. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adopt on first reading, to add section 70-10 to the town of Williamston's code. We do have a Scribner's error on Williamston in that first sentence regarding the regulation and operation of golf carts on a public road and street within the town of Williamston. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adopt.
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Alexander,
Second.
second by Councilman Haygood. Discussion. Michelle?
Yeah.
We got one on this spell order.
And under DF, we have one more misspelled. This is the last minute one trying to get it put together. Should be more than 35 miles per hour. And again, everything else follows state statute as it was previously. Couple of things, has to be operated on a street of 35 miles per hour or less, which is everywhere in town, in the town limits. We don't have anything that goes over 35 miles an hour. You can cross intersections where the speed is more than 35. But everything else mirrors South Carolina Code of Laws. Still have to have a valid driver's license. All right, so discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question on first reading of this ordinance, adding section 70-10. All in favor? And we have none opposed. Next up, we have a resolution appointing a full-time judge. Most of you know our judge, Jamie Saxon. He's done a good job for us, been here for a while, and he's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for warrants, and we have to call him, you know, periodically, you know, at night to come in and issue a warrant. You know, believe it or not, people don't always commit crimes between the hours of, you know, 8 to 5. They commit crimes at night too, and sometimes it's, we have to be able to get a warrant from him. So at this time, we have a resolution that will appoint him as a full-time municipal judge for the town of Williamston. His salary doesn't change. Everything remains the same as it was. He's just classified as a full-time employee primarily for benefits. Okay, this time I'll entertain a motion to adopt that resolution on first reading.
Motion.
A motion on the floor by Councilman Rogers, second by Councilman Alexander. Any discussion? Here now, we'll call a question. I seen you, your head went up. Was you getting ready to say?
No,
All right, you gotta be quick. My goal was to get us out of here at 6:30. I'm already 10 over. All right, here now, we'll call a question. All in favor? And congratulations, Jamie Saxon, on being our full-time municipal judge. Next up, item number 3, appointment of election commission member. I've reached out to 2 people, which would be great members to our election commission. Both of them have said thanks, but no thanks. Will respectfully decline. So at this time, I'll open up the floor for any nominations. Before you nominate somebody though, please have talked to them and make sure that they've agreed to serve. before we nominate someone. Do we have any nominations tonight? We don't have to do it tonight if we don't have anybody, but we do need to get on top of it pretty quick. We need to start, looking around, talking to your neighbors, your friends. They have to be a city resident, and it's not that much to it. I think they have to have, is it a day's training? Is it a full day?
Could be 2 hours, it's just you watch it online. You
Okay.
just watch a video online.
Okay, so it's self-initiated training, that you have to have, and then you pretty much need to be here on election days. Our next election is not till next year. So we got a little bit of time, but that person, we want to get them in, get them familiar, get them trained, get them ready to rock and roll. Who came off? Rita? Okay, Jamie Saxon, who's now our municipal judge, was previously on the election commission. Obviously, you can't hold dual office hold, so, I'll open up the floor for, any nomination. Do we have any nominations?
I do have someone that I've reached out to, but I didn't leave a message. I will try contacting them again. So,
Okay, hearing none, but we don't want to depend on just Chris to bring us somebody next month. Even if we have to vote on
Right.
2 people, that's
Yes.
great. That's great, we can vote on 2 people. See if you can reach out, and for those of you who are watching online, if you have an interest, please call Town Hall and ask to speak to Michelle, and she can put forth your information for one of us to nominate you. Okay? All right, so at this time, we'll table that appointment till next month. I do need about 5 or 10 minutes in executive session to go over a potential contractual matter, nothing in concrete yet. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to retire into executive session for a period of 5 to 10 minutes, somewhere thereabouts, hopefully very quickly, discuss a potential contractual matter.
motion to go to an executive session.
Got a motion on the floor by Councilman Alexander,
Second.
second by Councilman Haygood. All in favor? All right. Unanimous. We're going to executive session for 5 to 10 minutes. Be right back. I done forgot what I was gonna talk about.
We're on your time now.
this week? I think it's next week.
I sent the authorization form, so you shouldn't have to put anything up as collateral. But before you leave, let me give it to you. I
Okay.
faxed it because they asked me to fax it, but I'd rather you have it in hand and get up there and say, we didn't get it, you know?
Okay.
I got an email saying, thank you, Mr. Hagan, so I'm pretty sure they got it. But I'd
Okay.
rather be safe.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, for the record, no action was taken while in executive session. I apologize, it took a little bit longer than what I anticipated. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to go back into regular session.
So,
Have a motion on the floor by Councilman Rogers, second by Councilman Haygood. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll call to favor. Call a question. All in favor? And we're back in regular session unanimously. Does anybody have anything good to talk about? No. Anybody have anything for the good of the order? How about that?
I'd like to commend Greg Page for what he done today. Have you seen some of the streets?
I have not.
Councilman Haygood, he did a lot of street cutting in Ward One, made his way over into 3 till it got so hot about 1 o'clock this afternoon. But he had one guy on vacation, garbage truck driver was out, so that left Greg alone, so he got on the tractor, started cutting streets, and made a world of difference.
I'll check that out.
It only costs the town an iPhone. He lost
Yeah.
his iPhone, he can't find it.
But, I mean, they really, I mean, I called him and said, Greg, I said, who's cutting streets? He said, I have, David.
Was he on what tractor was he on?
I
Was he on
don't
Bush
know.
hog? Okay.
But
It had to be, cause the flail mower, we got a bearing out or something, that thing stays tore up all the time.
But, I mean, he did a tremendous job, looks good.
Thank you. I'll definitely give him a attaboy, tomorrow when I see him. Anybody have anything else for the good of the order? I think they started paving on Bigby. Am I correct on that? I haven't been over there to check.
I haven't been over there. I was
If
over there
not,
last week.
if they're not, there should be paving any day now. We'll also add SC 20, also known as Main Street. DOT had planned to be there resurfacing it already. They got to Belton Drive. I think they got to Academy, up Belton Drive,
Almost.
and almost to Academy. They stopped. They got pulled off for some emergency in Greenville. They're supposed to be back this week or next week to continue paving, Main Street. So, we're excited about it. It only took me a trip to Washington DC to pull that one off. That's a joke, by the way. All right, at this time, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion on the floor by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilman Rogers. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All in favor? And we stand adjourned.